Thank you for joining us today for our alumni webinar featuring Aaron Goodwin, founder of Your Modern Legacy. As a reminder, if you have any questions during the webinar, please use the Q&A feature to submit those. We'll have time at the end to address any of them. It's my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Aaron Goodwin. He is the founder of Your Modern Legacy, where he helps businesses owners scale with clarity, confidence, and culture. He's guided dozens of companies representing over $80 million in revenue to increase their top line by 20% or more in just under 6 months. His leadership philosophy is simple: create environments where teams thrive and businesses grow. Aaron is a proud 2012 graduate of Northwood University, where he received a bachelor's degree in a hotel, motel, and restaurant management. We're excited to hear how his Northwood education helped shape his entrepreneurial journey and learn from the valuable insights he gained while building and scaling businesses. Please join me in welcoming Aaron Goodwin.
All right. Thank you for such an awesome introduction. Appreciate that, Robin. So today we're going to just quickly dive into 5 things. If you're a business owner that is operating in your business day to day, we're going to talk through 5 things that we can help you shift that mindset from operator to owner. As I work with these small businesses, we find a lot of them are just getting burnt out and want to give up and want to quit. And it's because they continuously are getting sucked back into the operation. So today we'll talk through those 5 topics, but I want to give you a quick rundown of who I am and what we do. So real quick, a little bit about me. 6 years ago, I entered into a company. We were doing about $25 million when I started with them. Their biggest opportunity was building out teams and processes. So that was my main focus over 6 years of working with them, is developing teams, acquisitions, and growing that company to $59 million within 6 years when I exited. Back in COVID, I had a team that was operating really, really well, and I knew I was meant for more. So I was just wondering and figuring out, okay, what's next for me? And I ended up going to a 10X Growth Con where I met Grant Cardone, and they were talking about this business coaching opportunity, and it's taking smaller to mid-sized businesses and helping them scale. And I saw a void there because they were really good at teaching sales and marketing, but they did not have something for leadership. So what I did was I helped fill that void. And since then, we partnered up with Grant Cardone, the 10X community. We've helped over 50 clients add 30% to their top line revenue. We're doing about 20% in 6 months, but right now I'm going off of 2025 data. We've helped 30% businesses increase their top line, or those 50 businesses increase their top line by 30%. Their average return on investment is over 3,000% ROI. And in 2025 alone, in the first 9 months of the year, we've helped these businesses find an additional $20 million in additional revenue. Since partnering up with Grant, I'm a 2 times Grant Cardone 10X speaker. I've been on his stage the second time's coming up here in December. And on a personal side, I live up in Westfield, or I guess down, if for those that live in Michigan, I live down in Westfield, Indiana with my wife who's in the picture there. Her name's Kristen, and then we have a little four-year-old as of this weekend, Kai. So that's me on the personal side. But let's dive into the content because I know we only have about 20 minutes to roll here. So first thing business owners absolutely need to do is define the destination. This clarity is what's going to create your freedom. So what's the target? What's the goal? What are we going towards, right? And it's always starting in creating process around that target with that end in mind. So the example that I use with most of the business owners that get lost in the minutia and lost in the mechanics of their day-to-day business is, if I asked you to come to my house, what would you need? Well, the answer to that question is the address. All I need is the address. You don't need to, you don't just get in your car and make a left turn out of the driveway and hope that you get somewhere. No, you need the destination. So the first thing that most business owners are missing is that target. We have to have that target in mind and start moving towards that target and be intentional with our activities. Everything we do has to come back to what's the target. So that's going to be the first thing we're going to do as business owners. Second thing is we have to build the right team. We need to stop doing everything in our business and we need to start leading. We have to identify What's the bottleneck? What's holding us back from growth? Who are the team members that we need to bring on the team? Who are the team members potentially that we have to get off of the team and start holding accountable? A lot of business owners, they're looking for that person with all this experience. They need to have this experience. And they end up hiring this person that has these great experience, but they come in with a horrible attitude. And they're like, I can't get this person to do what I want, but they've got all this experience. It goes back to that saying, like teaching that old dog the new tricks, it's always going to be a challenge. So it's finding the competencies that they need for that role. Are they resourceful? Do they have a good attitude? Are they punctual, reliable, dependable? All of these breaks that these employees are having, we have to identify what are the competencies that we need from these people. We, as the business owner, and Robin said it earlier, it all comes down to creating an environment where our team can be successful. So we can try and force people to be successful all day long. But it's until we, as the business owner, create that environment for success, that's when it happens. And then the final piece of this is we can hire all these people, but if we continue to do the job and we don't empower them, we don't give them purpose, we don't fulfill them with the purpose, we don't delegate out tasks, and we continue to bring it in and we do it ourselves, we are never going to be able to scale that. Businesses scale with process and then people. If we don't create the process and we don't have the people, we'll never be able to scale. And ultimately, you need to create the culture with that target in mind. What type of culture do you need to build in your organization to achieve that target? And my culture formula is simple. It is the sum of what you celebrate plus what you tolerate. Whatever you're tolerating in your business is the culture that you allow to continue. Whatever you celebrate in your business is the culture that you continue to uplift in your business. So your culture is always going to be the sum of what you tolerate plus what you celebrate. Like I was saying earlier, you got to have systems and you have to document these processes. Companies that I talk to, they're like, oh, I'm hiring all these people. We're scaling. But then one person quits and the company crumbles. I'm working with a business right now who started 2 years ago. They went from 0 to 3 million, 3 million to 12 million. And then they came to me with their problem, which was this year they're looking at doing $8 million. And when we look at what's been happening in their business, there was no systems. There was no documentation. There was no process creation. They were hiring a bunch of people to fill holes. And as those people left, those holes started opening and the ship started sinking. We have to have systems. We do not scale with people, we scale with systems. So when you're building that, when you're building out that system, say your target is $100 million. I'm trying to build a $100 million business. Okay, great. The process that you create, will it work at $100 million? Or are you creating a process to solve the problem that's in front of you right now? A lot of businesses just try to solve that problem that's in front of them. We have to focus with the end in mind. Going back to slide 1, we have to start with the target. From there, it's documenting the how. How are we going to do this? What do we need to accomplish? When we look at that how, as the business owner, okay, what are the 5 things that absolutely need to happen in the sales process? You come up with those 5 things. Your sales team will come up with the metrics below it. So if we know that our sales process is A, B, C, D, E, okay, under A, what are those things? What are those metrics? What are we tracking to ensure that step A is successful? The whole purpose of scale is creating a business that can operate when you're not there. Without systems in place, you can't do that. First question I ask business owners when they're talking about scaling is, can you step away from your business for 3 months and revenue improves? Profitability gets better. Customer service gets better. If that answer is no, then you're not a scaling organization. You don't have processes in place to help with that. So documenting these processes to end up protecting your business so you can then focus on the next thing, the growth thing, the wealth building thing. Every business must have these three positions. In order to grow, you have to have these three people in your company. You need to have the visionary, the person that is thinking of the future, that's creating the future, that's providing direction, that is that innovative person in the organization. And behind them needs to be the builder that takes that vision and turns it into reality. They're the ones that are on the ground with the execution, building the systems, holding the team accountable, rewarding excellent results. And then behind them, they've got a team of integrators that are building the infrastructure, supporting the growth, creating a repeatable process. They're the people that will scale the foundation piece. So as that visionary goes out into another merger or into another acquisition, how does that all pull through to that builder to be able to execute on, to be able to start creating systems so that integrator can create repeatable success time and time and time again. These three positions all need to be thinking with an ownership mindset, an us leadership mindset, thinking that the organization name is more important than their individual name. Because when you have internal competition, yes, it can be healthy, but then you start potentially creating this blame game. And I see this across a lot of companies where they'd much rather point fingers versus accept ownership and accountability and responsibility as an organization to take it forward to create a solution. So if we're thinking of growth and thinking of scale, every business needs to have the visionary, the builder, the integrator. And then finally, the last thing, number 5, time ownership. Hear it very, very often. Oh, I don't have time in the day. I'm too busy. I couldn't find time to do that. And the reality is you don't have a time issue. Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. It's a priority issue. You're not prioritizing the things that will help your business grow, that will help your business move to the next level. Often I hear that it's a time issue. In reality, it's a priority issue. So what I recommend in this section here is do a time audit. We all have the same 168 hours in a week. How are you spending your time? How much are you sleeping? How much are you working? How much are you eating? How much are you going out to the gym? Entertainment, using the restroom. Document out for a month how much time each week is being spent on these activities. And you're going to find, on average, when we do this time audit, 12 to 14 hours of wasted time. Now, if you were to take those 12 to 14 hours of wasted time and apply them, you're going to have over 500 additional hours a week or a year to help grow your business. But you got to identify what those time wasters are. The other piece is booking those reoccurring meetings, having them set out on the calendar, having them pre-blocked. Like, I am extremely diligent with my calendar. My calendar controls my life. This time is blocked for this specific meeting. Nothing else is coming in here because I want to be intentional with my time. I also block time for calls. I block my time for coaching. I block my time for mentorship and fractional services that we offer. I block my time for tonight. We got another webinar at 7 o'clock that you guys are more than welcome to come. We're talking more about this culture thing. Blocking out this time and controlling your calendar so nothing else interrupts you in creating focused time. I also block time for my kid. I got an hour blocked at 4 p.m. today that is dedicated to her. There's going to be no distraction that busts through that time. I've got time blocked out for sleep, making sure that I'm in bed same time consistently every single night. You got to block these habits that move you towards your goals, and you got to identify these time wasters that are moving you away from the goals. And guys, it might not be some time wasters. It might also be some people that are in your life that are telling you, Oh, what? Like that seems risky. Oh, I don't know about that. Yeah, when I got into real estate, my grandma, she was telling me real estate, oh, that's a risky investment. I don't know if I would do that. My grandma's lived in the same house for 50 years. Why would I take real estate investing advice from someone who's bought in one house in 50 years? You got to look up to the people that are actually doing the things to help you, right? So it might not be a priority issue. It might be you're surrounded by the wrong people issue. And you got to start getting those people out of your life and creating an inner tight circle of people that will help you and lift you forward in life. And then the other piece, and I talk about this very, very frequently with especially the business owners that have larger businesses, man, they get distracted by a shiny object. Perfect example. I was on a call with a guy yesterday who's a multimillionaire rancher out in the Western region, and he's talking about investing millions into real estate. But then on the call, he brought up that he was going to buy a business. I go, whoa, whoa, whoa. Are we investing in real estate or are we going to buy a business? Why are we getting distracted by this? Like, what are we trying to do? Right. And these are coachable moments because people get very, very excited about the new sexy thing that's in front of them and they lose focus on the target. So that's what we got to do. We got to realign. Go back to slide one. What's the target? What's the goal? Where are we headed? Stop getting distracted by shiny objects. So those are going to be the 5 things. If you're an owner of a business and you keep getting stuck in the operation, those are 5 things that you got to start thinking about. How's your time being spent? Where's your time being spent? Am I wasting a bunch of time on crappy employees that won't fall into our culture? How are you spending your time? Now, we offer a lot of free trainings, and we do this almost monthly. These are all the upcoming events that we've got coming up. So tonight, I said it earlier, we have this event called Craft Your Culture. We're talking all about establishing and building cultures in the organization. The next event that we've got coming up, it's going to be December 4th, How to Get Known in a Loud World. This is going to be a marketing training. So we're going to have a marketing training in December and January. And then later in January, we start talking sales and then how to take that marketing and sales and convert it into revenue activities, generating revenue. We basically give the book away of how we're increasing this business revenue for these companies for 20%. So I would highly recommend if you're struggling in revenue growth, these are the webinars to come through. If you're struggling in people growth, the October tonight, the Craft Your Culture, as well as the one in April and May. Those events right there are all around culture building, recruiting, hiring people. We give you a hiring process. Most people will get into the interview process and they shoot from the hip. They ask random questions. They hire somebody because they have a pulse. And then they're like, oh my gosh, that person didn't work out. Yeah, no shit. Didn't work out because you didn't have a process. It's not scalable, right? So if you guys want to register for any of those events, our landing page for that is yourmodernlegacy.com/free. That's yourmodernlegacy.com/free. You can register there. If you register right now, Joy, my assistant, will be able to get you the invite for tonight where we're going to talk craft your culture. We also do live events. Majority of them are in Indianapolis, but if you have a business and you want your team to hear it, we travel as well. We'll travel anywhere you want us to travel to. You can hire us to come in and talk to your company about marketing, sales, or culture, leadership and culture. And our upcoming events, we have our marketing legacy and sales legacy and build your legacy. So this is all focused on sales and marketing, January, February, and March. And then in April, May, and June, we shift our focus to leadership, hiring, role duplication, and creating cultures. And because everybody on this call is either a Northwood alum or some part of Northwood, we're offering 50% off. So if you go to our store, which is yourmodernlegacy.com/store, and you use promo code NU50, that promo code is available until November 1st. So you can go right there on the store. And then if you guys have any questions afterwards, I think we open it up to a Q&A session here. But if I'm not able to get to that question today, you can always email me at Aaron, Aaron, at yourmodernlegacy.com. So that wraps up the presentation. I will go ahead and turn it over to the Q&A session.
Thanks so much, Erin.
20
Uh,
minutes, Robin. You like that?
yeah, you were quick.
Put the pressure on.
If you have any questions, everyone, you can either use the Q&A feature or the chat to submit those. All right, no questions yet. But also, Erin is also listed on our business directory on Northwood Connect. So if you ever, I mean, he told you his website, and we'll send it to you, but you could also find other Northwood businesses listed on there. All right, one good question. What's the best piece of advice for a young business owner?
Where are you at in business?
It was an anonymous attendee, so I can't call him out.
Oh, okay.
Early stages, they said.
Anonymous, where are you at in business? How much revenue are you doing?
150K.
You got to promote, dude. You got to get known. You got to get everybody in your local community, well, local or national, depending on what you do. You got to understand more about the business, right? For me, I can promote nationwide because my services allows me to travel and allows me to do most things over the internet like this. If you're a brick and mortar, dude, you got to get known in your community. So you're at $150,000. First off, congratulations, young entrepreneur. I mean, starting off at $150,000. That's a huge achievement. I don't know how many years in business, but that's awesome that you're there. Dude, you got to promote until you're at $1 million, and then your next problem is going to be a people problem. And from there, it's who do I hire? Like who's going to come onto my team and help me get to the next level? And how do we start creating processes so we can start skipping over some business breakpoints?
All right, another question came in. How has the Northwood network helped you in your business?
Northwood Network from my personal business, it actually hasn't helped at all. Other than, this is the first webinar that I've done with Northwood. So I would say, being able to present to Northwood alum, that's definitely going to be helpful. But what I will say is the biggest thing that I got from Northwood was the power while I was there, the power of connection. So the director of the program, Carla, she's still at the campus. Dude, she got me connected with so many people after college that I was able to land a job immediately out of college. That job allowed me to move to Colorado, move to California, back to Indianapolis, got me into senior vice president roles. If I didn't have Northwood and the connections there, specifically Carla Spaeth, there's no way that I would have been at where I am today. So I would say that would be like the biggest thing was she was really the launching pad of getting me introduced to people that could get that took interest in me, trained me, developed me, and got me to where I'm at today. So huge, I would say my biggest shout out would be to her, getting me to where I'm at today.
I believe Carla's also on the call today. Yep, she said, thank you, Erin. So thanks
Oh,
for
okay.
joining us, Carla, and all you do for our Northwood alumni and students. All right, another question came in. What else helped you be successful in your current business?
Partnering with Grant Cardone. I mean, you throw that name out there, I would say 80% of the world knows who he is. So having partnerships and collaborations with people like John Maxwell, Brandon Dawson, Grant Cardone has been that's been like the rocket to growing our business 10x in 2 years. We've been skipping over break points. We're hiring people, which is always exciting. We're always looking for salespeople too. So if you're interested, it's also So I would say it's the collaboration piece. It's interesting. I was at an auto show maybe 2 years ago, and someone was like, "Oh, partnerships screw people over," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, "Shoot, man, my partnership has skyrocketed my revenue." So I don't know. I think there's something to say about partnering with people and giving a little bit of equity in your business to leverage a brand and a name.
What's one quality you see daily that destroys culture?
Leaders who don't listen. I mean that I would just say that leaders who don't listen to their team, leaders who think they know best and they're not open to coaching. Oh, I grew a $3 million business and this is the way we've always done it and blah blah blah. Yeah, there's multiple. The example I use, and I actually posted this on Instagram the other day. There's multiple ways to get to four. Two plus two, four. Three plus one, four. Six minus two, four. Four plus zero, four. There's a lot of ways to get to a result. The leaders that are so like this and don't listen to their team's opinion destroys culture, because if people don't feel like they have a purpose within your organization, they'll bail. They'll bail.
You mentioned earlier that we should not scale people, instead scale systems and processes. Can you talk a bit more about that, as it seems reducing HR is the quickest way to save money?
I don't know if Joy's on this call, but she knows I agree with getting rid of HR 100%. But yeah, HR is important, but it's not. Read the question again, because it's stated incorrectly.
It is, can you talk a bit about what it is that seems reducing HR is the quickest way to save money? About, you talk about not scaling people, instead scaling system and processes.
So to scale your business, the focus has to be scaling systems and processes. Now, you can scale people within your organization and help them grow and promote and get to higher levels that will help your business grow, but you don't want to become dependent on a person. You don't want to become so dependent that if this one person leaves, an entire department crumbles and falls. You want to be able to, because people aren't going to be, well, some will, but most won't. There's not many career people. Like if you can get 5, 6 years out of a person, guys, that's a huge win. That shows stability there. Now I'm sitting in a business right now where they've had people here 15 years. It's insane. Like it's crazy to think that they've been able to create a culture that allows their business to do that. But what I will tell you guys is like these people are going to up and leave because there's going to be a bigger opportunity. You're not growing fast enough for them. Like me, I left San Diego to move to Indianapolis because my career wasn't progressing fast enough. I needed bigger roles, so I moved from a senior level role to a regional role quickly, and then regional VP, VP to SVP. Like and then now SVP, that's as high as I could go. I had to leave. I had to go do something else. So, the whole purpose of scaling the process over people, like yes, you got to scale people in your organization to promote them and grow them. But if they leave, you got to make sure that there's a process in place that continues when they're not there. Also, when they're like, hey, I want to go take a month off, I want to travel to Europe. Can the business operate without that person? You as the owner, you should be able to take a month off and go do something fun. Will your business survive without you there? Without process, it's never going to happen.
What are your 4 key success points?
4 key success points. From a business standpoint, for one would be promote. 2 would be good attitude. 3 would be showing up and be willing to learn when you show up. 4, don't get distracted by stupid things and people that say stupid stuff.
I like it. What strategies do you use to ensure systems and processes remain lightweight and efficient?
From an ownership level, keep it high level and let your people come up with the process behind the key, right? So like if we're talking, okay, we're creating a sales process, what does that look like from a business owner standpoint? Okay, we got to have a greeting. We got to go through fact finding. We got to propose. We got like in a demo, we got to ask for the close, and then we got to follow up. Okay, that's my 5-step process for sales. Super simple. Now, guys, you on my sales team, gentlemen, I need you to go, okay, what qualifying questions do we need to ask? And they come up with the process below the key, the step 2.
All right. I think all questions have been answered. We'll give it one more minute for anyone else who might have a last minute question. We've already gotten comments. Carla said, great message. So many need to hear this. Another thank yous from other people. Just a reminder, next month, our webinar is going to be on Thursday, November 13th, and it is with Dr. Gabriel Brenzakri, who is our David E. Fry Professor of Free Market Economics, and it is on conserving freedom in a changing world. So hopefully you all can join us. This is what being recorded, so we will send out the recording to everyone as well if you had to join late, or we started a little bit early too, so you might have missed a little bit of the beginning. We'll send that out to everyone, and we hope to see you next month. And don't forget about Erin's discount promo for our alumni that you guys all can take advantage of. Thank you so much, Erin, for joining us today, and everyone else. Have a great day, everyone.